Peace and one love to the hip hop. Back at it again, my friend. Before we get this started, you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? You know the joint. And if you ain't watched my videos by now, if you didn't, I always tell people to subscribe. Please do that for me right now. Hit that like button. I thank you kindly if you do that for me. Thank you very much. Um, on the serious side of things, man, I'd like to introduce everybody to 1990s hip hop. We're going to get right into 96, the year of 1996. My top 10 hip hop albums for that year and what they contribute to hip hop for that year, in my opinion, just my personal opinion. Before we get that started, I also got to give a shout out to my headline, Big Den Hats, the camouflage joint with my initials on it that I made. I can do any initial that you want me to do. If you're interested, holler back. You see I got the hip hop representing to the fullest. The Ice Cube joint when he first came out. You know, Ice Cube shirt right here representing this other episode. Always gonna keep it hip hop. Each episode you watch. You know what I mean? Now let's get into it. 1996 hip hop. Give me your favorite albums. Type it in. Give me a comment. The ones was your top 10 or your personal favorites for that year while you're listening as well or when we're done. Always like to hear what you have to say. Now, the first album that I want to talk about that I liked for that year was Bahamadia. Real underrated, raw female MC from Philly. Love Bahamadia. For me, she had the smoothest female voice and hip hop. She brought female smoothness to hip hop like it never been done before. Her first album, Coolidge, to me was a hip hop classic, man. She had wordplay on that joint. That was phenomenal, man. She had a joint on there. She gave a shout out to like all the Philly people during that time and before her time. She named everybody on that joint. What I liked about her, she represented to the fullest, man. Bahamadia. Another female MC. I gotta throw another female MC up in there. Strictly lyrical. Heather B. Was called Taking Minds. And it didn't get a lot of play. It wasn't radio friendly, that's why. She was a strictly hardcore MC. No chaser, no watered down, just straight raw lyrics. And that's what that album was all about. You had my dudes, Helter Skelter, Rock and Rock, Nocturnal. Album was super banging, man. They definitely brought you that like Tales from the Dark Side hip hop because it was grimy, dark, and gutter. You know what I'm saying? That album, man. Rest in peace to Sean Paul, man. Went on solo career was phenomenal. You know, the albums he named, every one of the albums he had was named after like something like after movies or certain things in history. And he did collaborations with other people on albums as well. So rest in peace to that dude, part of the Boot Camp Clique. This album, like I said, man, grimy. Also, we had Nas again. Came out. It was written. Was more commercial album, more manifesto street, more commercial than the first one. They also introduced us to the Firm crew. That what that album did for hip hop that year. It was written by Nas. Also, we had Busta Rhymes, the Dragon. Perfect name, perfect metaphor. You know what I'm saying? He was a lyrical beast, man. Definitely a monster. That energy. I went to see Busta Rhymes when we was in his prime. I seen him twice. I seen him in his prime, and I seen the different versions of him in his prime, and then I seen him recently now, more seasoned Busta Rhymes without the dreadlocks and everything. But I seen Busta with the dreads, getting the crowd hype, man, singing them joints, getting everybody up and making them move, putting the spotlight in the crowd would see who wasn't moving. It was definitely experience, man. And when I seen him again recently, the same energy never died away. But like I said, more seasonal. Breath control, crazy, man. He can go spit with the fastest of them. You know what I'm saying? He can switch his style up like that. The way he bring it up, bring it down, and nobody can do it like that. But The Coming was the album that was the classic joint by Busta Rhymes, man. Had some nice hits on that joint, classic joint, forever and ever, bringing us a lyrical monster into hip hop on the scene like we never heard before to this day. That raw energy, man, is untouched. No, there ain't too many people that can bring that energy like him. Also, we had the Laws Boys, one of the best hip hop groups ever, man. They definitely brought rawness to hip hop, and rest in peace to Freaky Ty, one of the best hype men ever in hip hop. You know, we go Flavor Flav to me always gonna be the number one, but Freaky Ty, you gotta throw him in there, man. You know, in one of the top five, you just got throw Freaky Ty in there. He brought that energy to the group, and they brought you a lot of different. They brought you all the elements of hip hop that year and beyond. They brought you the partying, you know what I'm saying? Shit from hip hop. They brought you the lyrical side to hip hop. They put at the radio friendly joints for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? That first album, you know what I'm saying? All them songs back to back. You can play almost that whole album on the radio. When you going on a joyride or you going on a long trip somewhere, that's the album to throw on. It was definitely a joint you throw in a car and turn the volume up all the way up with the bass on. Classic joint by the Lost Boys. Then you also had Jay-Z first album, Reasonable Doubt. This album, man, listen to it a whole lot, play it in rotation a lot. The production was tight. It complimented the rhymes. It was Jay-Z at his rawness. He slowed it down on his album. You know, at first when he first came out with Jazz O and everything, and Big L, he used to rhyme real fast and everything. So he even said it. He slowed it down so more people could understand what he was talking about. But you know, this album that you hear, man, it was good. Production was tight, but it's a braggadocious album. You know, bragging about materialistic things and stuff like that. And that's what the album, you know, when the songs he wasn't hitting the lyrics, most of it was about that and manifesto rap and all that good stuff. Um, for people that's into that, that's why I gravitated towards Nas' album Illmatic. To me, is a little better, and I gravitated towards that more because I can relate to that album more than I did Reasonable Doubt. But Reasonable Doubt, man, definitely is a hip hop classic for sure by Jay Z. You had Mary J. Blige was in that joint. Um, Ain't No Nigga, you know what I'm saying? With Foxy Brown, that was one of the hits off that joint. Like I said, Mary J. Blige was on the track on that album. Memphis Blake was on there. Um, you know, classic joints for sure. The Fugees. First time we ever heard a group like that with two MCs and a female. Everybody brought what they could contribute to the group. They brought a cultural change to hip hop on a conscious level that ain't never been done before. And they was all lyrical, straight from Jersey, man, doing their thing. While Clef with the production, and Lauryn Hill, man, Lauryn Hill brought that hip hop gem to hip hop. That precious diamond ain't never been presented to hip hop before. Her unique talent of being able to rhyme and sing, man. She was like a heaven, an angel sent from heaven with a voice, man. Definitely a heaven sent instrument to hip hop. Lauryn Hill, you know what I'm saying? But the Fugees, man, how many mics on can we rock on the many? I said many. I said many. They had Fuji Live from that album. There was a lot of classic joints from that album, man. The Mass, I like that song. That inspired me to write a spoken word joint um, called The Mass myself. And then you have the album, man. To me, was the best album of that year. Another Wu joint. Um, to me, I consider it the third best album, solo album from the Wu crew. Number one, I gotta go with Jizza, Liquid Swords. Phenomenal. Had every single member on that album as well. That's why I liked it the most. Lyricism was top notch. Um, Only built for Cuban Link, Raekwon, the same thing, man. But right behind that, it's his partner in crime, Ghostface, Iron Man. Classic album for sure, man. And Iron Man, Ghostface bringing that raw slang, the raw lyrics, everything is raw, man. With his own way, the way he word things and everything like that, it's super off the hook, like nobody ever done before, man. My favorite joint of that album was "Sometimes I Feel Like a Motherless Child." That joint that he sampled by OV, right? Yo, I went back, man, years ago. On you had to Google everything. You could do it now. You just speak into the joint. Hey Siri, who is OV, right? And I found out who that was, and I did a joint that I did a little short film years ago. Um, man, that I used that and a scene that I did. And Ghostface, man, that album, like I said, phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. A monster on that mic and his high pitched voice, man. That's what make him. That's what he known for. Make him iconic for that as well. But Iron Man, Ghostface Killer, that Shiznick for sure. Everything that Ghostface represent as an MC, the wittiness and the rhymes and all that, definitely describes what it is to be a true Wu-Tang member for sure. He definitely one of my top favorites up there. I love Red. I mean, everybody say Method Man, but I definitely gotta say Ghost is probably like my third favorite out the group. Jizza is first, Raekwon second, Ghost gotta be third. I see Meth gotta be fourth. Spectre Deck has to be my next dude after that. But there you have it, man. The albums that I believe that made an impact for that year in 1996. In my personal opinion, there's a lot of more that came out that year as well. I want you to give me your personal favorites that particular year for hip hop in 1996. And we counting it down, folks. We almost at the end, getting close to 1999, but that's coming soon. I'm gonna keep it coming for y'all, giving you that raw, pure hip hop. You know what I'm saying? No watered down bubblegum shit, the real hip hop for sure. DC, the Mad Lyrical Wolf. Peace. I'm out.